Hi, I'm Susan Blackwell. I'm going to be your moderator for today's virtual HD Live in Schools National Educators Conference, brought to you by the Metropolitan Opera. Hi, Dan Marshall. I see your smiling face. I see the team up there. Typically, we do this live, and while we miss seeing you in person, we're excited that so many more folks from near and far can join us in this virtual context. To maximize your viewing pleasure, you might want to put your Zoom in speaker view. We have so many friends, new and old, joining us today: educators, supporters of opera, lovers of music. So welcome to all of the established members of our HD Live in Schools community. It is always a joy for us to spend time with you. And new friends, hello. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We are so happy to have you here. And we want to extend a special welcome to new friends who are joining us from school districts in Philadelphia, Detroit, Topeka, and Ocean Beach, Washington. Welcome, new friends. Again, my name is Susan. I am joining you from Muncie, Lenape land, currently known as upstate New York. And that, friends, is what we call a land acknowledgement. One of the first times that I heard a land acknowledgement was last year at this very conference from one of our teachers, Stephanie Hendricks. Sparked by Stephanie, I did more research. I learned what a land acknowledgement was, why they are used, why they are important. So I want to read to you from the website of Northwestern University. A land acknowledgement is a formal statement that recognizes and respects Indigenous peoples as traditional stewards of this land and the enduring relationship that exists between Indigenous peoples and their traditional territories. To recognize the land is an expression of gratitude and appreciation to those whose territory you reside on, and a way of honoring the Indigenous people who have been living and working on the land from time immemorial. It is important to understand the long-standing history that has brought you to reside on the land and to seek to understand your place within that history. Land acknowledgements do not exist in a past tense or historical context. Colonialism is a current, ongoing process, and we need to build our mindfulness of our present participation. There is so much more to be shared on this topic, and we encourage you to learn more about the land on which you live and work. We're going to share a link in the chat so that when you have a moment, you can begin or continue to learn more about that. So we're going to share a link right now. The site that we're sharing, that link in the chat, it links to native-land.ca, and it maps Indigenous lands in a way that, according to their site, changes, challenges, and improves the way people see the history of their countries and peoples. Their website goes on to say, we strive to map Indigenous territories, treaties, and languages across the world in a way that goes beyond colonial ways of thinking in order to better represent how Indigenous people want to see themselves. We provide educational resources to correct the way that people speak about colonialism and indigeneity, and to encourage territory awareness in everyday speech and action. It's a beautiful site. I highly recommend it. And because we are meeting in Zoom today, we would like to share a land acknowledgement for this virtual space. This land acknowledgement that I'm about to share was written by Tara Moses of Groundwater Arts, and we want to thank Tara for these words. Zoom, the platform that we are using today and many days, is headquartered in what is now called San Jose, California, on the traditional lands of the Ohlone and Tamian peoples. We acknowledge the lands Zoom resides on because the work we create together on a digital platform does not exist in an ether, in an imaginary void, but is made possible because of physical land and the Indigenous people who steward it. So there's a little bit about land acknowledgements. And now, before we go any further, I would love to welcome the Met Ed team. You may not know them yet, but you're going to love them soon. Marcia Drummond, Dan Marshall, and Dr. Kamala Shelling. Team members, please activate your video and unmute yourself. Friends, welcome. To start, can you tell our attendees your name, what you do, and a little mini roses and thorns? And teachers, as you hear these introductions, I want you to be thinking about your mini roses and thorns from this time, because you know I'm going to be asking about it later before the day is out. So we're going to hear from Dan, then Kamala, then Marcia. Dan, would you say who you are, what you do, and your mini roses and thorns?
Absolutely. Hi, Susan. Hi, educators. Hi, friends of the Met. My name is Dan Marshall, and I am the Met's education manager. I couldn't even think of what it was. I think of myself as the education department's logistics guy. So all of my all of our teachers, all of the Met's brilliant collaborative educators who are here today. They get a lot of emails from me. They get a lot of communication from me. They get a lot of, I guess I'm the funnel through which the beauty of the Met gets transported to teachers and further to students. How's
Love
that?
it. Great. It's pretty great. How about those little mini roses and thorns?
Oh gosh, I feel like I wanted to say, I was thinking of Lauryn Hill, like everything is everything and my roses are my thorns. So I think that my teachers, I keep saying my, like they belong to me, but these teachers are my roses and my thorns. They're my roses because their resilience and their inspiration just rock my world on a daily basis. They make my job an absolute joy. And the thorn is that we're virtual. We can't like hang out at least once a year and be in the same space and high five each other and celebrate each other in person. So I'm gonna send my roses and my thorns back to the teachers of the HD Live in Schools Network.
I love it. I love it. Dr. Kamala Shelling. And if you've ever had trouble pronouncing the name Kamala, you can also pronounce it Madam Vice President. Dr. Kamala Shelling, please share who you are, what you do, and your mini roses and thorns.
Thank you, Susan. Hello, friends. We're so happy to have you all here today. I think my official title is the Manager of Educational Content at the Met. So anything written that you see coming out, not an email from Dan, but the written guides, the Google Classroom, I oversee all of that. So if Dan is the funnel that brings all the magic of the Met straight to you, I guess I am the funnel that takes all the knowledge that our teachers and our freelance writers and our musicologists bring to us, and it all has to go through me and come out on the other end as the curriculum that we can provide to you.
Amazing.
I just want to say, Dan introduces himself as Met Education Manager. I like to introduce him as the guy behind the green curtain that's making all of the magic of Oz happen. Everything you're seeing today, this is because Dan Marshall is incredible at his job.
Agreed.
Let's see, I owe you a mini rose and thorn. Okay, so I'm going to start with my thorn. My thorn is that it's really, really, really cold in New York right now, and I am not a cold weather person. I am somebody who at 71 degrees is convinced I'm about to die of hypothermia. So the polar vortex we're having is not working for me.
Okay.
But my rose is that I live right by Central Park, and there's currently a snowy owl in Central Park for like the first time in Central Park history, which is just a really nice reminder that we're living through a very weird time and the world is very strange, but things continue to live. There continues to be nature and life and beautiful things and joy. And if I put on a coat and I put on a hat, I can go outside and see those things.
Love that. Love it. And last but never least, Marcia Drummond. Marcia, will you say who you are, what you do, and your mini roses and thorns?
Absolutely. I just want to say hi to everyone. I want to thank you for coming. I know it's your Saturday and you logged on, and we really appreciate you being here. I'm Marcia Drummond. I'm the Director of Education and Engagement. And, our job is to reframe this general audience entertainment, which is like sometimes very long, and reframe it for teachers. And so we look for ways in, whether it's for kids and students. I know we have a couple summer campers on here.
Yes.
Just ways, how can we frame opera so people can access it? And more broadly, we convene groups of people together to kind of get excited about and learn about opera. And so that's kind of drives everything we do. And we don't do it alone. And we don't do this alone. We've been doing what we're calling career corners throughout the year. You're going to meet like a lot of different people that work at the Met. And that's just really important. So in a way, the three of us are giant funnels for kind of the magic of the Met and how do we get it out to the universe.
I love that. How about a mini roses and thorns? You can't escape without a mini roses and thorns.
I would say I was going to say, and now it sounds very selfish, Dan and Kamala's were so kind of thoughtful, but mine were like, I'm really grateful for the extra hour of light. It's getting light later, which I'm super happy about.
Great. Yes.
And then my thorn is I have not figured out how to wear a mask and not have my glasses fog up. That's just
a real thorn.
That's my thorn, but hopefully with effort, I'll crack that.
Marcia, you've spoken so beautifully about what the Met Opera Education Team does. Is there anything you want to add to that?
We're going to have a great day today. We have a wonderful lineup. I'm super excited. I want everyone to, there is an audience participation piece of this, and I am looking at everyone to volunteer, or Dan says you'll be voluntold. I don't want to scare anybody, but we're going to have a good day.
That sure makes me laugh. Dan, for anyone who's joining us for the first time, can you tell us a bit more about the HD Live in Schools program specifically?
I am happy to do that, Susan. HD Live in Schools is, as Marcia said, it's the program that leverages the stunning HD broadcast that the Metropolitan Opera produces live from its stage into theaters around the world. And we make those available to public school students here in the United States. And it is a joyful, beautiful program. We currently partner with 57 public school districts in 45 states. So we got 5 states left to get in there. And we're just absolutely thrilled. We provide tickets to go see them in a non-pandemic situation in your local movie theater. In some instances, students see them in their very own high school. This year, teachers in this network received a Met Opera On Demand license, which was a brilliant way to kind of keep the party going. And we provide them with Kamala's brilliant curriculum, and then PD opportunities, professional development, ongoing continuing education for teachers. So that's HD Live in Schools, the headline.
I feel like yes to all of that. And I'm picturing the word voluntold somehow incorporated into the t-shirts for the next time we have the live conference. Just put that in your pipe and smoke it. And Kamala, as the curator of all things curricula, can you give us an overview of what is currently available to participating Met and HD Live educators?
Oh my goodness, Susan. I feel like right now we're all kind of both drinking from a fire hose in terms of curriculum and trying to hold the fire hose, just because there's so much. Under normal circumstances, we produce a big tome, a big, beautiful sort of textbook for the introducing you to the operas we're going to do for the year, plus some little additional sort of ornamental things throughout the year. This year, what we have is 10 operas with full educator guides. So that gives you your history and your background and the ways to talk about it. We have a Google Classroom with like 5 to 7 activities for each of the 10 operas we're doing. If you want to get access to the Google Classroom and you don't already have access, send me or Dan an email and we can put you in touch with that. And then we have career corners that happen every, I don't know, what, Dan, 1 or 2 times in the month, talking to people at the pop-up professional development. Because we're in a virtual space, suddenly the sky seems like the limit. So we have our YouTube channel, which is going to have all this stuff from the conference today. We also, it's going to sound kind of weird, but we have the YouTube channel for the Global Summer Camp, and everything on there is designed to be funneled directly to students. It's all talking to students. Here's an activity that you can do rather than here's an activity you can do with your students. I will pop those URLs into the chat right now. And I'm sure I'm forgetting something because there's a lot we're doing, but that's
pretty rich,
I think. Okay, I'm going to throw it over to Marcia. I'm going to throw it back to Susan to throw back to Marcia, and I'll put those links in the chat.
There you go. Thank you so much. Get to know that team, because when it comes to the Met Opera and education, they represent a bounty of resources. Team, I think you can go behind the scenes now, and I'm going to take it away. We want to begin by sharing a little amuse-bouche with you from the Met's Holiday Festival held in December that was created for families and children around the world. This video is about 90 seconds, and it features the New York Times food writer Melissa Clark and Met star and friend of this conference, Anthony Roth Costanzo. Dan, will you roll that clip?
I am so excited to be baking brownies with you. I'm like shaking with excitement.
What are we going to make today?
Deep, dark, fudgy brownies. So we need some unsweetened chopped chocolate. You got it?
I got it.
I happen to have an industrial size vanilla extract.
Wow, I just have the normal size. This woman who loved my performance in Akhenaten, who lives in Ireland, sent me a whole care package of chocolate. And so I was like, well, I've got all of this chocolate that she sent me. Maybe I'll just chop it up into chips.
Brilliant. Is anybody out there actually cooking with us at the same time? It is super thick. Blob. We want to break up these candy canes. Oh, look at you and your meat mallet.
This is what I do when things are in the oven.
We love going to the opera. We miss it so much.
I'll be right there.
Oh my God! They look amazing. I'm gonna break a little off. Okay.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, Anthony, it's perfect. Look how fudgy. Oh,
That's
you
what a good
nailed
recipe
it.
is. Thank you for being such a supporter of the opera, and we'll cook in person one day soon.
I cannot wait.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Just a reminder, you have access to so much great Met content like that clip, and more on that soon. But in the meantime, we're going to share a link to that clip in the chat. So speaking of content, we are recording this session, and if you prefer, you're welcome to turn off your camera so that you won't be visible, but please feel free to communicate your input via the chat feature. Now, today, we are focusing on two wonderful operas, Lucia de Lammermoor and The Merry Widow, and we have got such a great program planned to bring those operas to life for all of you. So let's talk a little bit about what's on the schedule. We're going to experience a wonderful session led by dancing classrooms. Then we're going to receive some fantastic quick curriculum, aka Quickulum, presented by Dr. Emily Symes around 1:15 p.m. Eastern time. I know we have time zones from around the world represented today, but around 1:15 p.m. Eastern time, we'll take a break. But if you're new to us and you'd like to learn more about the Met's HD Live in Schools National Educators Program, you can stick around during that break, and Dan Marshall will answer any questions you have about the program. At 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, we'll come back together for a great presentation by Dr. Mark Pottinger, not to be missed. At 2:15 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to visit, oh my gosh, we're going to visit with the great director choreographer, Susan Stroman. As always, I feel like I've won a contest being here. At 3 o'clock Eastern time, Dr. Emily Symes will return with more juicy Quickulum, and then we'll bring it home with a moderated conversation with all of you.